Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another ARPneuro Q&A. My name is Jake. I am the trainer, and with us, as always, is the Maverick, Matt Dell. He is back in the house. He is back in Florida. Welcome back, Matt. How you doing, sir?
God, it's good to see the sun, Jake. I don't know that northerly living. I can leave it behind. It's a little depressing.
It's great to be back in the sun and getting a little bit of vitamin D. And we have a great show today. We kept this kind of private because we wanted to make sure we had all of our strong followers with us. And we are going to be giving away. Well, Matt, why don't you tell them what you're willing to give away today?
I think you're going to have to figure out a plan of action.
All right. Well, I'm going to give away your 2024 Porsche 911.
Okay.
But
and how are they going to get that?
Where are they going to get it, or how are they going to get it? Well, we're going through a hodgepodge of PRS kind of questions, and I am looking forward to a lot of people bringing up a lot of other questions, just inundating who has questions. Matt, you'll have to tally it up. Whoever asks the most questions, PRS or RX or ARPneuro related, or perhaps Matt's private life, that person will win the Porsche 911.
That'll be a very boring show on my private life, but I love it. And I just filled the tank up. So, let's jump right in then.
Let's save.
I'm excited.
All right. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do here is a lot of people have always been asking certain questions, and we actually have these on the website. So bear with me as I share my screen here, and I'm going to be pulling up our ARPneuro website, if you guys can see that. And that's kind of the front page of it as we get through. Actually, I'm right into the Q&A. Let me go to the front page here. So this is the home page. So when you go to ARPneuro.com, this is what comes up. If you are a PRS owner, you have so many things to navigate around, but I'm going to go really quickly to PRS FAQs, a lot of the basic questions that we still get today, and that's fine. If you have any questions, you know the deal. Go to info@arpneuro.com. A lot of times, we will try to get that within a 24-hour period, usually 2 and 4 hours, and sometimes even less. So we're pretty quick when it comes to that. First things first, this one. All right, I'll let you phone a friend if you need to, Matt, but let me ask you this question. Is the PRS painful? You
Absolutely.
Phone a friend yeah. In fact, every time someone tells me that it hurts, I want to give them a choke slam so they know what real pain really is. Absolutely not. This is not painful. This can be intense. This is like a workout, but this actually eliminates pain. This actually gets your muscles to work. It takes you out of pain. It can be intense, certainly not painful. So yes, that is a good, correct answer on that.
And it actually, it's a good, it's actually when you know what it's doing and how it's doing and why it's doing it, you tend to start, really wanting that sensation of the contractions because the outcome is going to be positive. It's going to help alleviate pain. It's going to help bring blood flow to that area. And what I've learned, which is nice, and this is maybe a little extensive, but you can't make a mistake on pad placement, which is so great about the product. And then also one of the easiest things that I remember is the black lead is trying to go to the red lead. So just remember that. So wherever you're trying to get that blood flow and or the PRS to function, just remember it's black to red because it's like a stop sign. It's going to stop at the red pad.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. And, to your advantage by knowing that, because if you wanted to direct the blood flow in a certain way, now you know that if it's starting on the black, running to the red, you know where to place the pads to draw out inflammation or where to draw the actual blood flow. One more thing in addition to this, is it painful? One thing we will say, the more pain you are in, the better you tend to do with this therapy. So if you're at really high pain levels, it's very important that you get treated, you find a local clinic to get treated by it, and then get your own PRS. You can take it home, and trust me, you will be out of pain. It does a great job.
Yeah, we can't leave that question because I got some other things. we always get asked, when should I use the RX versus the PRS? And I think, to that level, if you're at a pain level of 7 or above, right, you've got knee pain, or you've just come out of surgery, or you have something seriously, highly suggest the RX 100 device. If you are in kind of a maintenance mode, or you need to fix some ailments that are kind of plaguing and it's below 7, the PRS is a fantastic option.
Correct. Yeah, 100%. And both will do good, but just keep in mind the PRS is about 25% of the power that the RX does. RX is the actual treatment device, and the PRS is that take home just for maintenance. So both are good. Both have their place. But you're absolutely right. When it comes to the treatment side, RX is the way to go. Is the PRS safe? Absolutely. Yes, it is. Just like the RX, the PRS is FDA cleared. We have been using this for quite some time. This has been, there have been over 500,000 treatments with a 95% success rate. And, people continue to come back for various ailments, various conditions, and have a lot of success. It is 100% safe. Just keep in mind, maintain within the guidelines of what it is. Stay out of the contraindications. So if you have blood clots, if you had blood clots in the last year, if you have any internal electrical medical device that you cannot shut off, that is also a contraindication. And also pregnancy. Now, the other one, not necessarily a contraindication, but a cautionary, is if you have any known cancers, we want to make sure that there's doctor's approval there. And, Matt spoke really well to this. I don't remember where we were at, Matt, but you pulled from some of your experience, and it kind of made a lot of sense as to why a doctor's approval is required for somebody who's going through cancer.
Yeah, I think that obviously, if you're going through cancer and you're doing radiation and or chemotherapy, which hopefully nobody has to ever experience, because it is ugly, and they're trying to kill the cancer, which means they're trying to kill you. So the last thing they want is something like a PRS or a device that's actually trying to help and strengthen the body, versus, when you're in the midst of cancer treatment, the last thing they want is something that could potentially be a more positive way of helping the nervous system and your muscular system, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's go to this next one. I like this one. We're gonna kind of skip around, and Matt, if there's one specifically you want me to go to, I want to cover some of this other territory as well, so people know where to navigate to find things. But this one's a good one. Should you move or sit while using the PRS? Now, personally, I have a kind of, I lean more towards the movement side. This therapy 100% is at its best when you're doing it with some sort of movement therapy. Whether you're in office, whether you're at home, moving while using this is going to be its best. Now, there are some exceptions. You can certainly just kind of use it for a recovery protocol. You can surround the muscles, go above and below. You can go to the sides, or if it's pre-op and post-op, of course, no movement is required in any of those. But when we're talking to actual therapy and contracting muscles, I'm partial with movement. You can certainly do both.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I shoulders, using it, I do it when you're working, even cleaning dishes. I mean, you're still moving. So you're actually physically kind of taking care of whatever ailment it is, as long as you're kind of moving.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people coming after my Porsche, because I'm seeing these questions build up. I don't know when and how you want to start.
Okay, let's start pulling this in. Sorry about that. I got distracted here. So let me show this one. That's not a question. It can be uncomfortable to you, but you feel better when you're done. Yeah, absolutely. So that just kind of goes hand in hand to, whether or not is it painful. It's certainly not painful. Little discomfort. Well, you can have discomfort when you're working out.
Yeah, I'd like to also say, and even the day after, it is like a workout. I mean, if you are utilizing the PRS and all of a sudden it's like the next day you had pad placement on your calf or some other area, and all of a sudden you realize, wow, I'm a little sore.
Yeah.
You'll know that, that's a positive thing. It's a positive sore.
Yeah, great point. Bill, here's a good question from Bill. Jake, I have a bad shoulder. Can I turn up the pulses to top, even though I feel the muscle hurting a little bit? Yeah. So here's the thing. When a lot of times when we're starting to absorb muscles and you're absorbing force, there's certain hot spots that might fire up. I always say this: so long as you can perform the movement without compensation, you can certainly turn it up. A lot of times I will say when you're on a hot spot, it's going to feel different. It might represent something that's actually that's almost like discomfort, kind of like what SK said. But it's certainly not pain. And a lot of times what you'll discover is as you increase that output power and you continue to push through it, that discomfort starts to become a little less because now you're starting to wake that muscle up so it fires properly while you're going through those movements. So that is actually perfectly okay. That's, again, going back to what Matt said, that's good pain because it's just a response to this type of sensation.
Love it.
Good question. Here we go. Can teenagers use or benefit from this? Yeah, and you know what? The best thing you can do is place it on their wrist while they're playing video games, and that will probably keep them off their video games as you turn it up. You could certainly have your teenagers use it. We've had, I think the youngest I've treated was the age of 6, and I think there's our doctor in Chicago has been even younger than that. So teenagers can definitely use this. Your teenagers used it, Matt.
Oh yeah, he was all over the technology with a broken leg from high school football. So there's so many high school athletes and really anybody that's suffering from any kind of pain or injury or whatever can benefit from it. So I think it's a great question.
We have another individual trying to jump after your 911. Here we go. What are the best pads? I ordered pads from Amazon and they did not work. Yes, let me explain it. This is a great question. So the problem is this is a direct current technology. Most of the pads that you're going to find on Amazon they work around 95% of the technology when it comes to electrical current. That's alternating current, which is one of the reasons. Now, keep in mind, alternating current is physiological. It's passive. It's superficial. You're not getting to cellular level. You're certainly not getting any type of muscle breakdown or hypertrophy. So you don't need to get to a lot of those intense levels. And these pads are basically designed for those lighter type contractions. When you get those cheaper pads on Amazon, and you put them on our technology, you're not going to see, you're just not going to see them work the way they should. And in some cases, especially with the RX, it could be a bad thing. Now, there was one case in thousands of cases, someone used some cheaper pads and they did start to smoke up because they're just not tested for this type of intensity. So that being said, let me go through this website. Let me show you where you can go. And, if you find it cheaper than on our website, let us know so we can get a better rate. But we do have the best rate for these pads. All you do is you go over to the shop. If you guys can see this, ARPneuro shop, you scroll down and you have, a couple of options for pads, the 2x2s or the 2x4s. These are the approved pads for the ARPneuro technology. This is what we would recommend. This is where you're going to get your results. All the others are kind of impostures. So it's kind of like saying, hey, I want to get in an F-22 and get on the fighter jet. And we want to do it in a 1979 Pinto engine, Ford Pinto. Does anybody know what that is?
I used to own one. I love the Ford.
I love it. My mom used to own a Pinto.
Well, speaking of pads, let me, because I'm in a good mood, go to on the website, if you could, go to the stories.
Stories.
Where is that?
Patient success stories?
Yeah, go to that one.
All right.
And if you go to this and you can go to any ailment, knees, you can keep scrolling down. These are all patients that have successfully utilized the technology. I'm going to offer up for anybody listening today or anybody that gets in this. If you do, we've got a little short video. Just email us at info@arpneuro.com. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to tell your story. We'll post it on our website. And what I'm going to do is we'll send you how many sets of pads should we send somebody for doing that?
I mean, how happy do you feel today?
I feel pretty good. What do you think? Three, that's almost a year's supply, 3 packets.
Three packets, 3 packets of 4. That's not a year's supply.
Well, It depends on how often you're using. For you, that's maybe a week, but for everybody else,
That's not bad. Yeah, that's 12 pads for sure.
So if you're looking for pads, just email us at info@arpneuro.com. Tell us you want the link so you can tell your story, and then we'll send you some sort of generous amount of pads. What do you think?
I think you are a rock star. You're in such a good mood. There it is below, info@arpneuro.com. I don't know. Take advantage of this. Matt is not often in a good mood on Mondays. And I don't know, maybe it's past your bedtime. You're
offer expires in 30 days.
There you go. That's more like it. Now I feel better. Let's move on.
All right, good. Cool.
All right. So let's go back to these FAQs, but I think we had some more questions, didn't we?
Yes.
Give me a second here. Pinto Porsche.
How about what are the reasons?
Here we go. I missed that one. Okay. So what are the reasons to turn the frequency up or down? Yeah, this is actually a really good question. So frequency often depends on what you want to use it for. Now, what you'll discover with some of the protocols, and we'll kind of talk about it, and I'll show you some of the protocols you can use on YouTube later on in this Q&A today. But when you're looking for the side of relieving pain and you're really trying to wake the muscle up, if you're on a dormant muscle and you're going through the actual treatment portion, or even on the PRS where you're going through a movement, you want to increase that output power as much as you can tolerate. Again, so long as you're not compromising form, because the intensity is going to be that thing that wakes up that hot spot, whatever's not absorbing for you. That's on more of the treatment side or more of the pain side, on, kind of pushing that output power number. However, when we're talking about muscle loosening, and we're talking about muscle recovery, and we're talking about even a warm up, these are levels on that intensity you want to keep a lot lower. A lot of times when it comes to the loosening portion, oftentimes it's either first sensation or where it's comfortable, because you don't want to get to too tight of muscle contractions where you're starting to tighten up the muscle as opposed to lengthening it and opening it up. Same is true when it comes to recovery. Recovery is at a light sensation, something that's comfortable and something you can tolerate just on a relaxing portion. I'll give you, case in point, for instance, where we talk about the anti-anxiety protocol, where the black pad is just above the sternum and the red pad is just below. That one's at a light frequency, first sensation, and you're just laying down and you're resting. And that one's a good one we call it anti-anxiety, but a lot of athletes use it as pregame as well. So
love it.
Good question there.
All right, let's get back to the other questions on the website.
Here we go. All right, we're going to do a question roulette. Is the PRS safe for air travel? I like this one because we do get this a lot, and people are worried about the lithium battery. I have, hundreds of flights I've taken with the RX and the PRS. I often travel with both. I've never had an issue. Sometimes if you have an RX, sometimes you do get stopped because it looks like a bomb. And then, I used to carry the class 2 medical papers just to show what it is. But for the most part, I've never had any issues. You can remove the battery from the larger RX unit and put it in your backpack, so there's no issues there. The PRS, I've always carried it with my carry-on, and nobody's ever stopped me with it. No one's even questioned it, so no issues at all with that. Did you ever travel with it? You just got back from the plane. Did you ever use it on the plane?
I have that PRS with me everywhere I go, so never stopped. I actually got stopped through security today, but it wasn't for the PRS. It's because my shaving cream was a little on the larger side, and they still let me go. But
that's that's funny. How long would the PRS be charged? This does depend. Let me go back down there. It depends on what you use it for. If you're using it for actual deep, intense muscle contractions, we're talking about the PRS here, it can last between 6 and 8 hours of actual time. If you're using it for the blood flow, it's usually on that higher end of 8 hours. I have had a PRS last up to 10 hours, but it was just on background. So you certainly can. It will last a long time. Now, to kind of make it a 2-part, the battery will start to beep. It'll let you know when it's charging. And usually once the battery starts to beep, you have like 3 to 5 minutes before it actually dies out. So just make sure you charge it. I usually recommend charging it after every use, just just so you keep that charge going. All right. I'm going to scroll past this and we're going to get out of.
Well, before you get off the website, I come up with another brilliant idea.
Oh, no.
Where is it that you can show and click on YouTube and our Facebook and all those other social medias? Okay.
Right. Great question. That's where I was going to go next. So there's our Facebook to follow us there. That's our Instagram, YouTube channel, and of course, LinkedIn. The YouTube channel is where you're going to have a lot of the other extended things of what you can do with a PRS. But before I go there,
well, before you even get off of that, I want to throw another offer out.
Oh my goodness, you and your offers. This better be good.
Because I'm starting to learn about this social media thing. I think it's here to stay. I don't know.
No way. It's going to fail someday.
So here's what my new offer is. If you do the info at ARPneuro and you do the video, which will take you, 3 minutes or 5 minutes or less, you get 2 sets of pads. If you haven't already and you follow us on, we've got 2 Instagram channels. I think we got athletes using ARP and then the other ARPneuro Instagram. Follow us and let us know that you're following us. Post something on your own Instagram, whatever. We'll throw you 2 more sets of pads.
So you're giving away 4 more sets of pads.
Total of 4 sets of pads, 2 and 2.
Crazy.
And I might do it just because I need some pads. I'm running out.
We are taking that out of your check. You do realize that.
That's fine. Listen.
I get paid minimum wage.
If that's about the case. So
you're still getting ripped off.
Be good.
All right, so one of the things I wanted to show along with that before we go to the YouTube channel is the training aspect, that we do have a lot of basic things you can go to. So you can book a training session. We show this on a lot towards the end of a lot of our Q&As. So I'll click on that. Very simple to do. So if you do have a PRS, or an RX, this kind of goes through and you go through it, what day works for you. So if you want to go tomorrow, these are the open times that we have. And it's about 15 minutes. You can certainly sign up for more than one, and it's all PRS related. I will not answer any personal questions, but I'll answer all the PRS questions, RX questions, and ARPneuro type things. So feel free to sign up.
And you have blocked off your nap time, correct?
Oh yeah. As you can see, there is no 1 o'clock.
Okay.
It is in my contract that I get a 1 p.m. nap time for it. The contract says 20 minutes, but I make it 30.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just be an open book there. So there's that one. And then of course you go down to training again, and then there's PRS video library. Now people get confused here because this is just the basic library, but there are a lot of things you can take advantage of just on the website. So this particular video, sorry about the monkey face there, but aside from that, it will tell you how to use the basic features of the PRS, and then all these other things. Ankle, back, core, elbow. If you scroll down here, you'll see a lot of these basic videos that will just show you pad placements and what you can use it for. And it goes down quite a bit. These are not all the videos, by the way. And this is where I think a lot of the confusion is. We went to a longer form on YouTube aside from these. So we're going to go on the YouTube channel here. And if you go to playlists, I don't know if can you guys see that? Is that scrolling, or is that just, did that just pause on us?
It paused on you.
All right, hold on. Because this is important that you guys see this. Let me pull this out, and I'm going to share it again. For whatever reason, last time I tried to share it on YouTube, it didn't allow me. So it was getting a little clunky. Let's see how this goes. Okay. All right. So you go over to playlist. When you scroll down, you have performance protocols. So you would click on this. I will not. We don't want to play the ad here. But what we do want to do is, as you get through it, it has a series here of, talking about different things. There's pickleball, there's baseball, there's MMA, and that'll continue to grow. These are all the performance protocols. Not as big of a list as the actual protocols, though. So we're going to click on hello, everybody. And as you can see here, there's about 13 other videos going into detail of all these other conditions: hip pain, Achilles. There's core weakness that can be a whole host of things: knee pain, shoulder pain, pelvic floor. I mean, and of course the list goes on. There's ankle, back pain, If you go even lower, there's that stress relief, anti-anxiety. A lot of people ask about that. So there is more detail on this that aren't on the website. So a lot of times when you're asking me questions, this is usually where I pull the videos from, but most people haven't been able to find them. So that's our way of kind of sharing it. And there you go. Those are the YouTube videos that you can get access to as well. Matt, do you have any questions? Because I have a few more up here.
No, I'm impressed. I wish I was this knowledgeable on our own websites and how to get to YouTube, because I'm learning as well. So this is impressive.
I love it. So maybe you'll get a chance to actually watch the videos someday.
I think if this, what do they call this? Intranet. I think this is going to take off. Honest to God, I kind of think this may not go away. I thought it was going to be a fad, but I think it's here to stay.
I think you're right. Here to stay.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is on there as well. We do have that if that's a question. So yeah, good question here. What is the normal? Here's a good one. What is the normal life of the unit? We're very happy with ours. I'm able to move easily from stressed hip flexor. So the life of the unit, it's a very durable unit. It's kind of built like a brick. One thing I will say though, it is a lithium battery. So just like an iPhone, every 3 to 5 years, you start to notice the battery starting to lose some of that charge. That's just the nature of technology. There's no stopping that, but we do have a system where you can send it back and we replace the battery and we send it back. And then the machine is as good as new for the most part. But that usually takes, we haven't seen that, in the recent with the newer units, but some of the older ones that, people have had for 3-4 years, again, just like an iPhone, the battery starts to lose the charge. And what tends to happen is it goes, instead of from 6 hours, it goes down to like 4 hours of charge time. So it's not that you're not able to use it. It just doesn't last as long. So if you're starting to see that, perhaps it's time to replace the battery. I'm not sure, Matt, what is the battery cost to replace that?
I don't have that. I should know that, but I don't know the numbers. I can tell you that we are not like Apple, where we're going to change feature functionality so that you have to replace this thing every couple of years. Because I'm still using my BlackBerry and it's still working.
I'm going back to a flip phone.
I love the flip. I want a flip phone again. But yeah, no, I don't know that.
Yeah, it's not costly. Certainly to maintain your treatments and to get the results, it's certainly worth it. I know it's not a lot, but
yeah, and we rarely get anybody having an issue. So it's if you do have an issue, obviously reach out to us at info@ARPneuro and we'll let you know and get you a quote or whatever needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's a good question. I want to answer this because this is in conjunction with a lot of other technology and a lot of other fitness things. By the way, Matt's a big biker and triathlete, so he might want to speak to this as well. But can we use it while riding a bike for an hour or so? Great question. Yes, and you can use it while you're walking. You can use it while you're hiking. I've used it while I was driving. I've used it in the air while I was on the plane. There's not a lot of things you can't use it for. I will say if you're using it in the car, don't put it on your hands, maybe your low back or your feet or something. But certainly on the bike. What do you think about that, Matt, being a biker?
Yeah, I think absolutely, without question. I think the one thing it's funny, I just got these today, is more wraps, right? Because when you start sweating, the pad starts slipping. That's probably the biggest challenge. But I think absolutely using it while you're working out. I think, it's a challenge when, I have it on my shoulder and I've been typing emails to Jake and I kind of barely can get my fingers on the keypad. Sometimes I have to work through that. But yeah, all in all, I think using it while you're working, I think the biggest challenge is to make sure that you've got the pads pretty well wrapped so that they don't slip while you're, kind of working out. I think that's compression is also good. Compression shorts, anything that you can do to kind of, firm up those pads so that as you start sweating, they don't slip around.
Yeah, that's great advice about the compression gear. That's kind of how we started when we did a lot of like the ARPneuro workouts with it is, if you have the compression gear, that's probably the best bet. And wrapping it, not only is that good to keep the pads, on point, but it also saves your pads. And I think I've explained this before, but I'll go through it again. Those of you, who probably haven't heard it. One of the things about these pads is when they start to pull off the skin, when I place this on my arm, and the more I have to keep pressing it down, the more I'm using this adhesive. So every time it's pulling off or coming on, I'm pressing it. It's the adhesive is actually getting looser and looser after every use. So if you actually wrap it down and keep it secure to your skin for the entire treatment, that adhesive stays a lot longer, so you're not pulling it off so much. So it's another reason why I like to wrap it. It saves you money on the pads, and Matt's only going to give you 4, so keep that in mind.
Yeah,
after
but that's not a bad value.
I don't disagree. Yeah.
How many come in one pack?
4 in one pack.
Okay, so that's 4 times 4.
That's 16, I think. I failed math 6 times.
Hold on, let me get my calculator. I think you are right. That's not bad.
I don't know if anybody should trust Matt and my gorilla math, but I think we're close.
I love it. Good stuff.
Yeah, so that is the story. Here we go. How much does a pack cost? Well, I tell you what, how about I show you? Let me share it one more time, and we'll go into the shop once again.
While you're pulling out that, we have a lot of clinics, a lot of customers that just set it up on auto replenish. So you can actually set up your pad so that they just come automatically as you need them. So I think that's probably the easiest way to go, because then you'll know.
Now, do all proceeds go to your bank account, or do they actually go into the ARPneuro funds where we can continue to generate more business?
That's a great question. I'll have to look at my bank account.
So here you go. Here are the pads. Very inexpensive. I know that they, again, let me reiterate. So if you go to Amazon, you're certainly going to find cheaper ones than $8. However, I will tell you, they are different pads. They're not going to be the same potency. They're not going to have the same ability to handle this type of direct current wave. Most of those, once again, are for alternating current. So you're just not going to get the best bang for your buck. So we do recommend these, and it's the lowest price you can get for these type of pads. We get, I think we carry more pads, more of these pads than anybody else in the world. I think that's true. So I don't believe you're going to find these cheaper. If you do, please let us know, because we'll probably work something else out. So a lot of other accessories you can go after as well. So there you go. And 2x2s, if you're curious about how to use those, very simple. I mean, it's for smaller areas. Sometimes with children, I'll use it. If you're going on the wrist, they're pretty good. Some people like them on their neck. I still believe the 2x4s are your best option. Covers the most territory on your skin. You're going to get the best results from the 2x4s regardless.
I got a question for you, Jake. So yeah. I'm just trying to do the math. So if you're saying that I'm giving away $32 worth of product and it takes him less than 5 minutes, that's a pretty good value.
Man, I'm a bit jealous. I almost want to do the same thing so I can get that much product and I can sell it.
Okay. I love it. Good stuff.
Yep. So there it is. I'll stop sharing that. It's, we're almost out of time. Am I missing anybody's questions? Who's the winner?
I think the winner has to be, only because I know this person and he's going to be loving the fact that he knows I don't have a Porsche. And the fact that this was all Jake, we had to go April Fools on somebody. So I think Bill White is the winner. And just for the fact that I think he's excited and probably wanted the car, I'll have to throw him some free pads.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, if you had a Pinto though, I would take it. That would be awesome to drive around these days in a Pinto. Come on.
I know. I love it.
That would be fun.
If it passes emissions.
Well, that's another story, but this is Florida. I don't think Florida cares.
Good point. Good stuff. Well, Jake, great questions, great info, and great knowledge of how to get all our questions answered. So, and
one more thing, I just got a word from our rock star that she's not on vacation anymore, so we can kind of run as a company. She said that the battery replacement is $165, and this includes shipping, cost back and forth. So small, it's actually a small investment to keep the life of your PRS working at its very best. So
very good. Awesome
stuff. I don't have anything else. If you don't,
I think that's it. We've had a bunch of other questions that we can't get to, but I think we'll, feel free to, if you have any more info at ARPneuro, or jump on a Jake one-on-one training. And I think that library on the YouTube is a game changer for sure. So good stuff.
I love it. Thanks for everyone joining in. Happy April Fools. And we'll see you guys next time. Matt, good to see you again, buddy.
Take care. Thanks.
All right.